Okay, recording in progress. Um, you're introduced all over our website. I missed that recording the introduction. But I would love to just hear from you. And if any of you have questions, feel free to either interrupt or put them in the chat and we will get to them. We'll try to keep this under an hour to be mindful of your time. Um, yeah. Any questions to start us off? Or Mmatshilo, you want to just take us away and tell us all about how amazing this trip is going to be?
Hi, hello everybody, and thank you for being part of this. My name is Mmatshilo Motsei. I am a mother of three. I'm getting like some babies are blowing kisses on the screen. Um, I am a mother of two boys and one girl. They're all adults. So I have sort of almost forgotten what it's like to raise a baby. But I have grandkids, twin girls, 5 year olds. And so I started my career as a nurse and a midwife. Um, Interestingly, I was raised by a midwife. My mother is 91. She is one of those midwives in apartheid South Africa who were sent out into the rural areas. She's one of those midwives who used to deliver babies riding a bicycle, moving from one place to the other. Even though I didn't want to do midwifery when I was growing up, I wanted to be a bass guitarist or a saxophonist. Nothing about midwifery, like, and then after I wrote my matric, for us, matric is the kind of class just before university. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I ended up doing nursing. And again, in the village, I did midwifery there. And then afterwards, I changed career into psychology and creative writing, and now did my PhD on African spirituality of childbirth. I am a healer. I am born in a family of healers. My aunt passed on in 5 years ago. She was a healer. She passed on the healing gift to me. In fact, now on January 20th would be her 100th year, even though she has passed. So I grew up in a family that is rooted in the land, that is rooted in the knowledge of the people, that is rooted in herbal medicine, in African medicine. I grew up in that kind of family. And also, as a carrier of a lot of spirits. My family always joke that I'm like a van. I know Americans talk about a van. I'm like a van that carries all these spirits, some of them that I don't even know. So my initiation does not even end. I mean, I will meet an elder who will teach me something. And after that, there will be an indication that there's another elder also in the van, who needs attention. So that's essentially my life. And my daughter was laughing the other day because there was an identification that there's another elder that needs to come through. And my daughter was saying, "Oh, shame, mommy, how are you going to deal with this?" I said, "We don't even say, shame, mommy, how are you going to deal with this? It's my gift. It's what I have been, the saying about the agreements that we make when we are born, that there's certain agreements that we make when we are born. And the irony, they say that we spend the rest of our lives trying to remember the agreements that we are born. So somehow I went into midwifery as a young woman, and then 3 decades later, I'm in the same geographical area where I did midwifery and also dealing with the elders. It was almost as if the universe sent me there as a young woman so that I should understand the culture and all the languages that at the time when when I'm ready to delve into indigenous midwifery, I should be understanding the culture. I should be understanding the languages. I should understand the rituals. So it's almost like this 360-degree circle. And that's how I've come to do this. So what I am doing with the cultural immersion retreats. Interestingly, last year I launched the first cohort of the African Spirituality of Childbirth course. What was moving for me was on the last day of class, and we had participants from all over, from the US, from Egypt, from Australia, from Europe. We have participants in the course from all over. What I found really healing for me and affirming is when the participants said they feel like the course was not just about childbirth. It was also about connecting us as birth workers so that we can become rooted in the spiritual world. Because imagine the gift, the honor, the privilege of you being the first one to receive a full human being. There's something magical about it. There's a mystery there. So if we understand our role as birth workers, that we are our hands, our voice, whatever we do energetically is what influences how people step into planet Earth. When we understand that, we have a greater chance of changing the world. I honestly feel that with all this mess that's happening all over the world, this can be our incubator. This can be our secret society. This is how we can change the world. So it's not just about, being birth workers, but also giving birth to ourselves. So I see these retreats not necessarily to acquire knowledge, but there's something that is going to shift inside of you. There is something that is going to change inside of you. Incidentally, last year, what was amazing, because we moved from one place to the other, is that people were moved by different places. People got into a trance. I must warn you that some of you may get into a trance because you may connect at a very deep level with something that we may not understand. So an example was, there was in the retreat last year, there was someone who's a theater practitioner, an art healer, not necessarily a birth worker. And then, and when we stepped into one room, she was reluctant to go into the room. And as soon as she stepped into the room, she just got such powerful, intense feeling. It turns out that the women in the village are using theater to teach about birth. So because she's a theater practitioner and a healer, there was something deep that connected with those women. So essentially what we do is we move from one place to the other. The program that you have that I sent to Charlotte early includes a lot of the urban space, but we have cut out a bit of the urban space so that we spend more time in the villages, so that we spend more time with the elders. For instance, in the original program, we say that you spend time in Johannesburg and there are some farms that you visit. We've moved that to venues that are closer to the villages so that we have easy access And just briefly, if I can take you through what you will experience, and then you'll ask questions. On your arrival on the 5th, and my mother is turning 92 on the 3rd of April. So maybe we might just wait for you to come and have like a 92nd birthday with her. Let's ask that she lives, until that time. She is the one who will then receive you to the ancestral shrine. We have an ancestral shrine. So when you arrive, you will rest for one day. And then the next day is the welcoming ceremony in my ancestral home with my mother and the local members of the community. How we do this in Africa, many of you will know that people sometimes are not necessarily invited to anything. They invite themselves. The irony is that when I did research, when I did my PhD research, in the methodology, I said that I was going to do individual interviews. Nothing like that works, because as soon as I sat under a tree with one woman, all the other people invited themselves. So the first day will be a ceremony in the ancestral shrine. Hopefully, if my mother is still with us, then she will be the one who will receive us. And then I will then facilitate a spiritual circle of healing ceremony for us to be rooted. That's how we will receive you in South Africa. And then the next day, we will then have in the morning a dialogue with a young indigenous midwife who was taught by the elders. She will share with you, her experience as an indigenous midwife in South Africa and some of the rituals that she has learned about. She's much more active in postpartum care. So she will be talking about indigenous postpartum care. In the afternoon, we will meet with another elder who specializes in what we call Amanono spirits. Amanono spirits are the spirits of babies who were either born in a special way. For instance, a baby who's born in a sack, in an intact sack, or a baby who's born with an umbilical cord around their neck. So we call that Amanono spirit. So the elder will then explain, because there is no such a thing as a coincidence. My son, my youngest son, who's quite gifted, was born with umbilical cord twice around the neck. And I haven't yet taken him to the elder, because there's a ritual that he needs to do. He's 26. I only found out last year that there's a ritual that he needs to do because he was born in a special way. So that's the first day. And then from there, that's a Setswana culture, one of the languages in South Africa. From there, we move from one province to another. We will go to the Venda culture. The Venda culture is closer to Zimbabwe, where we will learn about the Venda culture. And also there, the specific thing is around womb healing and herbal medicine. One of the healers will teach us about, how to cleanse our wombs with healing. And then from there, we move to another place where we learn about another culture. And what will be interesting in this is that it's for you to track the similarities and differences between one cultural group and another about birthing. So it would be an interesting way to see, do the Botswana and the Shangaan people and the Venda people and these people and these people, do they have the same values? Do they have the same beliefs? Part of the trip will also involve going to a game farm so that we interact with animals. And here, it's not just going to see animals. We'll also teach you about totems in a sense of indigenous knowledge and sustainable development and what totems mean for us and what does it mean for taking care of nature and taking care of the environment because I argue that our ancestors were ecological practitioners. Everyone is talking about climate change. We are not the ones who are messing up because we've always been connected to land, to earth, uh, agriculture, and everything was done in a way that shows our connection. So that will be what we will focus on. And one of the things that we will do is also go to this place where I did my research and meet with one of the elders who is specifically going to teach us about herbal medicine and childbirth. Uh, that's one area. And then from there, we move on to have a cave ceremony. I'm not yet sure whether to do the cave ceremony in the beginning or at the end, but I think the end might work. So imagine coming out of a cave ceremony and going straight to the airport and going home. So you might need a lot of postpartum work. You know, once you go back home, this is what I also found because the group that came last year said they were struggling to reintegrate back into their culture. Many of them were African American. They were struggling to integrate back. So I'd like to say, I don't know if we've discussed this, Charlotte, that we spoke about preparation, meeting with people, but we should also talk about postpartum care. Once people are back home, then we should also continue to hold one another, because there's certain things that are going to move. There's certain things in you that are going to move. So let me stop here and wait for questions because I think a lot will come out from the questions that you ask.
Whose brain is exploding with excitement? Me
I
too.
am so excited. I don't even know if I have questions at this point, but like that was such, all of that information just makes me so excited. And I'm like, feel like I'm so amped up right now that I want to go now. Like, can we?
Well, Carmen, you're coming.
Yeah,
You're 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 secured. You're coming.
Yeah, and I also forgot to say that when we receive you in the village, I'm going to receive you in my newly built healing heart. We are starting to build it now, a round heart in February. So you'll be the first group that is doing a ceremony in the healing heart itself. So I'm excited. I'm excited about it.
I'm excited about just listening to you talk for 10 days.
Pardon?
I'm excited about just listening to you talk for 10 days. I just want to soak up as much as we possibly can from your life experience.
Luckily, you are not going to listen to me for 12 days. You're going to listen to so many other people. And also what we do in between, we have rest days because it can be quite overwhelming. In between, we have rest days. You will do adventure, in nature, all of that. It is important that we also give you time in between to process.
Mhm.
And that's the time when in the evening we can gather together to see where you are at. So that's when I can hold space. But in between, you'll be listening more to others, maybe a conversation between me and an elder, we and ceremonies. You'll also participate in ceremonies.
What is our plan for translation?
Um, I will have to translate. A few of them can speak English. But what I do know, it happens to me as well. when I'm in the spiritual realm, English disappears. So we will do our best. I will translate. I will speak to elders in such a way that I translate. Yeah.
Awesome. And what Mmatshilo was just saying about holding space and having time to decompress, that's also what the Wombs of the World team is there for. We have a whole lot of experience running trips, and so knowing how to really just like cultivate those conversations is like is part of your overall experience.
Yeah.
I also would love Jessica, thanks for pulling over on your drive to chat with us and for being here. Are you there? Did you freeze? She looks a little frozen. Maybe she'll come back. I do want to let Jessica speak though. There you go. I do want to let Jessica share a little bit about her experience in South Africa last year. If you're lucky
Yes.
that you froze, when you froze, you looked beautiful. When I freeze, I'm like, it's not a good look. But if Jessica, is there anything that you want to share with our travelers about your experience? Really anything from the heart? Feel free to share it.
Hi, Mmatshilo. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Hi.
Hi, Charlotte. Hi, everyone. Okay, so I'm Jessica. I live in New York City. I'm traveling back from Pennsylvania after a week of helping a local midwife there while her co-midwife was taking a break. So I am driving, but I was cutting in and out, and I'm like, I have to pull over because when Mmatshilo speaks, I'm going to listen. So, yeah, I think that there's not a lot that I could say. I think everyone on the call, right? We hear when we hear you speak, Mmatshilo, we know we must listen. And so I think if there's a chance for us to go, most of us in this work, I think, especially this type of work, we feel called to it. And I think when we're called to the work, we're also gifted um, guidance and mentors and teachers along the way. And I'm so grateful to be able to call you one of my teachers and mentors. And so when we're on this call, what more could I say than everyone just getting a chance to experience hearing you? And no, you won't listen to Mmatshilo the whole time, but what you will do is benefit from her gracious, generous offering of her life, her children, her community, her mother, her land, her work, her wisdom, her elders. It's one of the most profound things that I walked away from was just the realization of that generous offering, which isn't always the case, right? You have worked, Mmatshilo, to cultivate and um, to nurture those relationships. And so to be so uh, generous and quick to give that, to offer that to others, to be a recipient of that is the gift. And folks like us who want to do these kinds of trips, we understand that um, in those types of interactions with people, we can't come by without Mmatshilo. We can't just show up in Venda and knock, knock, knock. Hi, I wanted to hear from you. No, it has to be because of all of the work you've put in. And I think that it's a very generous gift. I think if anyone's wondering if they should go, like literally stop wondering and get your money together and go. There's literally not a better person to be received by in South Africa, in birth, in spirituality, in motherhood, in community, in healership. There's literally not a better person. Like I feel like I can honestly say that. And I have continued to. I want to go with y'all. Honestly, I can't. But like as soon as I heard that Charlotte, I was like, what? Hold on. I want to go again. I want to go on every trip. Like I'm gonna figure out a way so I can always come. But I'll just wrap up by saying, the what you said about the effect that it will have on all of us, you're not going to go there and say, oh, I learned this specific way to do birth in a different way. No, you're going to come away with this profound something I still can't articulate, which is, you know, a year later, I still can't articulate what it is, but I know that I'm more grounded for it. I know I'm more inspired for it. I know that I'm more whole because of it. I know that this was an integral part of the threads that weave together my life and my work. And I'm a passionate advocate and companion in liberated birth. And I just feel like this trip was um, inexplicably profound. And so I don't know if everyone's like already signed up, but I hope that literally you sign up while you're on this call. I can't say it enough. I'm not just saying that. I love Mmatshilo. I think you're amazing. Thank you for the chance to come and talk about it and talk about you.
Yeah. The beauty about this is I have family everywhere now. Like, I mean, Jessica is one of my relatives. And so the beauty about this is that we are increasing the bond, you know, we are increasing the connections, we are understanding our power as women, not only as birth workers, but the power that was suppressed by patriarchy. For patriarchy to be so organized against birth means that there was a clear understanding of our power as women. And that's why I'm saying this is almost like a secret society for us to remember who we are. And I often use the phrase, the kind of female face of God, so that we connect with that female face of God, which has been suppressed forever. So, and another thing, Jessica, and to everyone who's coming, I also benefit from interacting with you in this way. When you have been chosen as a healer and you do the kind of work that I do, there's certain ways in which you kind of move around with self-doubt and not sure that this is it. And then you get people, you receive people, you almost like spirit takes over and works through you. And that helps me as well to fully receive my gift. To fully receive my gift. So this is reciprocal. It's a two-way process. Yes, you will be impacted by it. Yes, you will be moved. But I also do not stay the same. After meeting each of you, I also don't stay the same. It changes me. So that's why when I see Jessica's face, I'm like, oh, okay, here's my relative. So yeah, thank you, Jessica. Thank you.
I can speak to that as well, just from being on other trips. I was saying this at the beginning, but the power of birth workers coming together and just being able to share the space and grow from each other and hear each other's stories, and then you're connected for life. Like I'm gonna make you come on all the other trips too, because you won't get rid of me ever again. Just kidding. If you wanna get rid of me, you can. It's your choice. But this is an amazing, amazing opportunity. This trip is going to be unlike any other trip that Wombs of the World offers, mostly because Mmatshilo is obviously this revolutionary powerhouse of a woman, and I'm really grateful. Most of you who are on this call are signed up, so like you're looking at your fellow travelers. So I'm really glad that, and also you're getting to meet Mmatshilo and kick this off. And if you are signed up, we don't have dates on the books yet, but it's part of our plan of having at least two, if not more, pre-travel Zoom calls, because Mmatshilo also has this incredible, she was mentioning this a little bit earlier, but she has this amazing online course that's all about the spirituality of African childbirth. So you, as a participant, you get to learn a little bit from her ahead of time, and we get to share space and come together. And then we will also be curating your post-trip support network. And you're always part of the Wombs of the World network. So we'll get you connected with all the other participants that have ever been on, and I'm really working on that as well. Um, in terms of some of those like logistical questions of like your packing list and what kind of outlet to pack and what airport to fly into, things like that, we will be sending to you closer to departure. Your flights, you fly in and out of Johannesburg. You can arrive. The trip starts on the 15th and it ends on the 6th of April, the 5th to the 16th of April, my 5 to 16 of April. Um, and if you do want to arrive a couple days early to, experience Johannesburg, please do so. Or if you want to stay late, please do so. And we can always help you figure out where you want to stay, or if there's other stuff that you want to do afterwards, we can offer additional support in doing that. So if you do want to come and adjust to the time zone or just, I mean, I'm so excited. I haven't been to South Africa before, so I am so excited about going. But we can do that. But you fly in and out, and we cover everything from the time you exit that airport to the time we got to drop you back off.
Right. Thank you. This is lovely. I can't wait. I can't wait to meet you all.
Yay, me
I don't know if there are any other questions. Okay, something else. Usually people who work with me will know, usually when I'm in a conversation, I say that my head people tend to eavesdrop and they just interrupt. They just interrupt. So they've just come in to say that I should offer a discount to people who come on the trip if they want to register for the African Spirituality of Childbirth, which starts at the end of May. So I will offer a discount for people who want to enroll. Charlotte and I will speak about it. I mean, my head people don't know percentages, so I I still have to consult with them. But I
I'm
offer
gonna
that.
steal that. I'm gonna also refer to my ADHD as my head people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Okay. I got the phrase from the head people who's no, I forgot the name of the spiritualist. I got the phrase from there, but we will offer that. We'll offer a discount to the course
Awesome.
for people who come to the
On the trip.
to the retreat. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that would be such a phenomenal way of staying connected, deepening the knowledge and deepening the experience as well.
Yeah.
So, question.
Please.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
I wanted to know that, well, what I want to know is how can we best show up for this trip? What is expected from us, not on like a logistical level, but on like a personal energetic level? How can we best show up to receive what we're going to be gifted with?
I think just show up from who you are, where you are. And whatever comes up for you during the trip, all of us are responsible for holding space for you. So it's the kind of trip where we hold space for one another because we know that there's a certain kind of transformation that's happening from inside out. And you can never tell what's going to happen. You can never tell what is going to trigger you. You can never tell what's going to kind of help you to shift. But when it does happen, and if it becomes overwhelming, the great news is you're not alone. That's number one. Number two, we come from different cultural, spiritual groups and all of that. One thing that I emphasize is that, yes, we may differ in relation to our beliefs, but we come from the same source. This is also a trip that teaches us what it's like to coexist from a place of love. Um, so that's also important. But also because you want to come now, I don't understand why you are even asking that question, because you are being called. You are being called. And those that call you to come are the ones that will prepare you on how to show up. So you will be prepared, you know, whether through dreams or intuition or whatever way, you will be prepared. You will know how to show up. And another thing is, I remember last year, Jessica, someone else who was not a birth worker, she kept on saying, I'm not a birth worker, I'm not a birth worker. But you know what? We are birth workers. We give birth to something. We give birth to humans. We give birth to ideas. We give birth to concepts. We are all birth workers. So I shouldn't even have responded to your question because it's like, you know how to show up.
Thank
Uh,
you so much.
right.
Thank you for responding though. Like
Right.
all of that, I feel like all of us have been called for sure. And I think also all of us have been called for different reasons, but I feel like coming to this trip and being able to also put aside all of the programming that has been absorbed from me working in hospitals and home birth and all these different things, and being able to put that aside and be like, okay, but there's also a different way to walk the journey of birth, and
Yeah.
not just like the act of doing it, but just throughout your whole entire existence. But yes,
Yeah.
thank you. I am so
Thank
excited.
you. Thank you.
And just to add on that, my expectation of you as a traveler is always to approach situations with curiosity, always to approach with curiosity and with humility. And I have found that, and Matsilo was saying this, like everybody that's going to be coming together comes from a totally different walk of life and has their own personal experiences. And my expectation of you in that group context is to also show up with curiosity and to show up with that same kind of like empathy and openness and patience that we show to our clients, that we're going to show to the elders, that we're going to be, that we just keep that consistent in the group. And I'm also aware of group dynamics, having done this many a times now. And so on like, whatever day, take time to yourself, decompress. Like I'm a person that after 4 days of constant group time, I need some space. I need some alone time. So exactly what we were saying earlier, we do have like decompression time that's built into it. And we also, before takeoff, we will have our group meetings, but we also have I call it the cultural preparation training. It's like I don't know, like a 2.5 hour pre-trip departure. And it really just gets you prepped on travel. And it's like there's a whole module on like white women showing up in Africa and sharing space with women of color coming on the trip and like how to do that properly. So it's things that we do take very, very seriously at Wombs of the World, like how to create a safe space for everybody that's going to be coming together. So I just want you to know that that is part of the overall trip experience as well. Sometimes I don't know how to finish my sentences. I just
Okay, I love it.
Any other questions?
No, but
Or comments.
I just want to say thank you. I really need to just say thank you. I'm I think the moment before this, when we were sent the video, it was something just with you that called me. I don't know what it is. Well, I'm lying. I do know what it is. So I just wanted to acknowledge you and just say thank you. Thank you, Charlotte, as well. But I really am, I appreciate you standing in your power because you're all the way in another country and I can feel you now. And I don't know if that, you know what I'm saying? If that's a flow or where I'm supposed to be, but I have to sit at your feet. So I don't know why, no, I gotta stop saying I do know why, but I look forward to sitting at your feet and the feet of everyone before you, so that that way it'll be an understanding for me and who before me, because there's the people in my head and I don't know all their names, right? But I know that I'm here because I have to be. And so I just wanted to just say thank you. I'm getting emotional now. I was getting emotional as you were talking. So, but it's honestly, I'm grateful. So I appreciate this space. So I'll be quiet now, but I just wanted to give you gratitude today and just say thank you.
Okay. The reason why you feel my power from across the great waters is because I'm a reflection of your power. I'm a reflection of your power. That's why you feel it. If you did not have this power, you wouldn't feel it. So it resonates because it's something that you have. So thank you. I just thought that I should give that back to you. And being emotional as well, there's also going to be a bit of sobbing and crying as well in the trip. And we will just be there. This is also, I feel, an opportunity for us to remember what it's like to care for one another as women. Just to remember that. So thank you. Thank you for saying that, and also for seeing your power in me. Thank you.
This was amazing. Mmatshilo, thank you so much for your time. Thank you all for your beautiful faces and words of wisdom. I am so excited. I feel like really high right now on this energy. Um, I just want you to know that our email, shoot us an email, shoot us a text message anytime. I'm gonna get our WhatsApp group going for this trip, probably when I get back from Tanzania at the end of this month, so we can all start communicating and preparing for our April departure, have a few months of getting to know each other. It's really cool that you're able to, see some faces now too of people that'll be traveling. And at any point in time, if something like pops up, you have a question, you forgot to ask this call didn't answer your question, just shoot us an email. We're always available.
Okay. Thank you. It's lovely to see your faces, and looking forward to meeting you in our special ritual, 12-day ritual in April. Thank you.
I look forward to it.
Thank
I'm
you so
so
much for
glad
coming,
I
everyone.
missed it. Hi, thank
Thank
y'all.
you.
I'm like super
Thanks.
late arriving to this whole
Bye.
situation. Because I didn't have the information, but I did want to just introduce myself real quick. My name
Please,
is
please.
Mel Beatty. Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to going over the information in the recorded session, but I just wanted to make myself known as well and just thank you all for just making it such a wonderful offering. I look forward to learning more with you all and experiencing.
And Mel, you're signed up, right? You have,
Thank
I feel like I saw that you have a spot secure. Is that? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a spot secure, but for some reason I didn't get information about the info session. So Jenny, like I had reached out to her and she like hurry up and tried to send me the link. So that's how we got here.
I will. I'll be posting this. Yeah. Hi. Do you pronounce it Shakita? Am I saying that right? Oh, you're also signed up for the trip.
Yes, I'm signed up, and I just wanted to piggyback off everybody else and say thank you for putting this together. And I'm looking forward to the trip. Um, if anybody is looking for any encouragement, I didn't know how I was going to pay for the trip. I just said I wanted to go,
Yep.
and the
This
money
is the
showed.
way.
The way showed up, and
Yeah.
I paid for the trip in full. So if anybody has wants any encouragement or confirmation, and if you want to go, you'll go. It'll
Yeah.
happen for you. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in your manifestation and your affirmations to yourself that if you want to go, then you will go. I didn't have a way to pay. I swear I'm not kidding. I didn't have a way to pay. I said I wanted to go and the money showed up. That's it.
Mm.
Yeah. And
This
thank you.
is amazing. This is amazing.
Yeah, what a fun. I love that the mo most of you who are here, I'm glad that there's some people that have come to hear about it because there were like 35 people that signed up for this, but I'm so happy to see that those of you who are actually on the call are my travelers. This is so great. I feel I'm also really happy to see your faces because I've just read your applications and so now I get to put faces to the names. So this is so great.
Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, lovely. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Okay, bye.
Bye.